Hi there. How you doing? Look a little cold to me. Got a jacket on and, well, probably is pretty cold out there, isn't it? Dotsy. You know, I was just telling somebody about that the other day. Kind of like something to think about here with all this coronavirus stuff going on, you know? It's like, how do you prepare for all this stuff? What's going on? People are getting crazy, stabbing each other in the hallway or wine bottle opener stuff. And it's like, really? Well, kind of like this is Zippo lighter here, me lighting my pipe. How do you make sure that your Zippo always works? You carry two. Some folks say you shouldn't light a pipe with a Zippo. You should only use a match, because you'll smell the fumes from the Zippo. I don't know if that's true. I've never tasted the fumes from any of my Zippos. So I guess we could call it politically correct and go, you know, if that's your choice, you want to light your pipe with a match, then go ahead. Have yourself a good time. Me, I prefer to stay with my Zippo. Thank you very much. Yeah, so it's cold out here, man. It turned cold. 40 degrees out here. It was this night, it was 75 degrees yesterday. Oklahoma, you never just, you know, man. So it's Friday. And, well, you know, Friday's one of my favorite days. Friday's like a holiday, you know. End of the work week, everything's done, set aside. You can go home and put your feet up and relax. Don't have to worry about this and that. Look forward to the weekend. Kind of spend some time with your family and your pets. And change your mode a little bit. Waiting to exhale, I guess is what it would be. All right, well, trying to think if I need anything from the store before I head back into town. You know, that's the nice thing about ordering stuff online. If you forget, you can just order it online. It'll show up your door here in a couple of days. So I got plenty of dog food. I think I got plenty of groceries. Well, if you can't remember if you got plenty of groceries put aside, you probably do, you know. Then you get there and you don't. It's kind of like, You see that again? Got plenty of feed. We stopped by the store and get some ice cream for the weekend. Got plenty of beer, plenty of tobacco. Got staples. I think we're good. You know, don't like spending all that money, you know. Just want to be able to put that money in the bank or in your mattress or put it in your safe. So, not sure what truck talk number this is going to be, but it's getting up there. So hopefully there's some kind of value in just sitting there and talking with people. You know, don't amount to a whole much anything anyway. You know, 200 years from now, it ain't gonna make no difference. Yeah. That's interesting stuff would actually make a difference. You wouldn't think it would make a difference. I was talking to this fellow over the week about Washington, and when Washington was George, Mr. Washington, the rest of you, when he was stuck out there on the, I think it was the Potomac, right? And he was cornered on that peninsula. That's why you say, why would we have a picture of him crossing, maybe it was the Delaware, I'm not exactly sure, Potomac or Delaware? Shows him and them fellas in that boat. But what I do understand is that the reason that they made that crossing was because in the morning they were fixing to have a battle with the British troops. And it was going to be bad. Chances were they were going to get captured or killed. And that if the army, George Washington's army, lost, there would be no one left to defend the country. As a matter of fact, the British could go do whatever they wanted to. The reason that picture was so important was that if George Washington had decided to keep his troops on the other side of the river until the morning, they probably would have been massacred. This country wouldn't be what it is today. And just that idea of saying, you know what, we can't stay here. The only thing we can do is cross that river and keep running. That'll give us some time to keep those guys on the other side of the river, and maybe we can start to build the army again. It would appear that if that single decision had been made, the country would have probably fallen from that. There was nobody to stop them. Yeah, I don't know. You know, maybe that's not true. Maybe some of the simplest things that we do that we don't think are real important, in 200 years from now, it might make a difference. Well, I guess that's that phrase, never give up, never surrender. Get real philosophical on a fella. But it does seem like folks just don't seem to care. They don't seem to understand. They don't seem to be interested in, you know, who came before them and the sacrifices those people made. Don't think you could do that today. Be hard pressed. But then, you know, on the other hand, there's still a bunch of people out there that just might, you know, think that the country was worth saving, that it was worth defending against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That's something people don't talk about much either. That the oath keepers in the country, they don't take an oath to defend the commander-in-chief or Congress or Supreme Court or anybody like that. They take an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. It's interesting the founding fathers would have put that phrase together like that. Maybe they knew that the bigger threat would come from a different direction. But, then again, it always comes from where you least expect it, Yeah. 200 years, will anybody know the difference? Chances are they might. Simple, small actions, something to think about. Yeah. If you just think about that, a lot of people made sacrifices 200 years ago. Coming together to put together a country like that, traveling, leaving your family to go sit in a room with a bunch of guys arguing about how to work a certain phrase on a document. Yep. Something to think about. Something not to take for granted, Sure would be a shame to sit around and let that old piece of paper die. I mean, it's just a piece of paper, right? Just words on a piece of paper. Just words on a piece of paper. Philosophy, ideals, morals, the difference between right and wrong. Take a long time to learn those lessons, especially when you're young, and boy, sure can make a lot of mistakes. Just about the time you think you got it all figured out and you're going to live forever, something come along and put a little hitch in your giddy up and make you go the other way. Yeah. I know a fella, he's in his 80s now. He's a Vietnam vet, and he lost most of his hearing. He was a tank commander, and he spent a lot of time teaching when he got back and working with young kids, and joined the ski patrol, and he's been on the ski patrol. That's where I met him. And he has a lot of the old characteristics, values, morals, principles, honor, things you don't see much today. Getting scarce anyway, I've seen some people just don't even have the common courtesy to hold the door open for a lady. Yeah. I think those are pretty important. You got to hang on to those things because, common decency. Well, that's another thing I noticed, that, a few years ago when the gun scare was going on, that everybody started getting their concealed carry permits and started packing firearms, pistols. And it's amazing how people change if they think you're carrying a gun. It's like, oh, hi, excuse me, let me get that door for you. You know, I noticed that in Dallas, Fort Worth when that happened. You know, thousands of people got their permits, and what used to be a, you know, kind of a rude attitude sometimes. You know, people kind of, what's the right word? Uncaring, you know? They just don't care. Then when everybody started carrying pistols, concealed weapons, all of a sudden people are very nice. Crime rate went down too. Crime rate went right down straight through the floor. And that's something that gets me about that. It's like, you know, average citizen, he's carrying a pistol, some kind of self-protection, because he's afraid somebody's going to jump him. Somebody's going to... Well, you know, it used to be you're just going to worry about somebody robbing you. You know, and I remember that game those kids were playing where they'd walk up behind you and cold cock you and hit you as hard as they could. You know, people were falling down and hitting their head on the concrete and dying, going into comas, just because some kid walks behind you and slacks you behind the head. Playing a game, the knockout game. It kind of died down after a while. I noticed a lot of the older men in the community kind of stood up and told the kids, it's like, you know what? You keep doing that, you're going to come across somebody that's packing, and you're going to wind up with a bullet hole in your chest. You need to knock it off. And then shortly after that, it all kind of calmed down. It's amazing folks can't be nicer to each other, you know. Makes you wonder. Yeah, makes you wonder. Well, I think I'm about ready to head to the house. We may do another truck stop. A truck talk here in a little bit. Get to where we can talk about something fun, like the horses or fishing. Weekend's gonna be a little cold and wet. I don't know if I'm gonna go fishing or not. So in my place, I got that 1 acre pond. Go fishing out there with an old cane pole. And do it the old-fashioned way. I tell you what, you get a little itty bitty fish on the end of that cane pole, 16, 14-foot cane pole, you're in for a fight, buddy. Trying to get that sucker back up. Doesn't have to be a big fish, just a little itty bitty fish. Heaven help you if you snag a turtle. Whoa. I was out there looking the other day. Had 3 or 4 turtles sitting on a log out in the sun, and they don't seem to pay much attention when the hawks come by. But there's a bald eagle out there, flies in that neighborhood. And when that eagle comes by, turtles scatter, buddy. It's amazing their eyesight can see up there and they know who's up there. And then every now and then, old Mr. Eagle, he'll catch one of them asleep and come down and whack. Off he goes carrying a turtle. takes it up into the tree and nibbles on it. Yeah, something to think about. All right, well, I'm gonna focus on driving in the rain, so I think I'm gonna get headed towards the house. And appreciate you guys watching. If you would share the video, let your friends know. This is just another way to kind of raise some attention for the horses and visit with folks. You can follow us on Patreon. We've got a GoFundMe account set up for the horses since we're in our fund drive. Facebook's got a fund drive, fundraiser. And if you wouldn't mind, click that subscribe button and comment. Let you comment and hit that notification. It helps the website for the videos grow and get a little bit more credit. And then all that stuff goes back towards the horses, building fences and keeping the feed coming and the hay coming. So we appreciate your help. All right, I'm going to sign off. Hope you guys stay dry, stay warm. And this is Mark with Triple X Rescue Ranch. We'll be talking to you soon, have another truck talk for you. All right.